My question is to the Prime Minister. Before the election, the Prime Minister promised Australians that they'd be better off and have cheaper mortgages under a Labor government. But NAB yesterday reported increases in the number of households reporting financial difficulties, with households, quote, starting to feel the pinch and getting more worried about their financial future. When will this out-of-touch Prime Minister finally admit that Australian families always pay more under Labor?
Give the call to order. I give the call to the Prime Minister.
I thank the member for her question, and she asked a question about the commitment that we had at the WA election launch there at Optus Stadium on the shared equity scheme. It's a shared equity scheme. It's a shared equity scheme
members on my left.
Based upon the WA model. It's one that the Perrottet government, was implementing in New South Wales. The Andrews government in Victoria.
One more time. Promise I'll just pause. The continual interjections by the member for Barker every single day is not helpful or respectful at all. If it continues once more today, he'll be asked to leave. Give the call to the Prime Minister.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. And the member suggests somehow that that the Liberals, when they're in government, people don't pay more. But the fact is that inflation, the peak of inflation in terms of the largest ever jump in any quarter this century was in March 2022, and the jump was 2.1%. The fact is also that the Abbott, Turnbull and Morrison government was the second highest taxing government in modern Australian economic history. The highest, of course, was the Howard government. The fact is that interest rates, when this man was the Assistant Treasurer, were 6.75%, which is higher than 3.6%. 6.75 compared with 3.6. And the fact is that the budget papers accompanying Josh Frydenberg's final budget confirmed not just that there were no surpluses over the forwards, instead the coalition was on track to rack up $224 billion in additional borrowings over 4 years, and the intergenerational report produced by them showed that no budget would be in surplus in any year between now and 2060. That's in spite of the fact that in the lead-up to the election in which they attained office in 2013, the then Shadow Treasurer and the then Liberal Party said they would have surpluses each and every year going forward. They never delivered. They stopped the 30 years of consecutive economic growth thanks to the Hawke-Keating economic reforms. The fact is that those opposite talk a big game, but they never ever deliver.